Hello everyone, my name is Mark, aka Redforce, and today we will review EZA for SSJ4 Goku and Vegeta, and for Super Saiyan God Goku and Vegeta. We will also take a moment to honor the great Akira Toriyama, discuss what was happened in the year since his passing, and talk about my disappointment with the Dragon Ball community. For reference, I usually make a video in Russian and have been doing so for over 3 years. Unfortunately, there are so few Dragon Ball fans among Russian speakers that I may be forced to switch to an English speaker audience. I would greatly appreciate any support from you whenever it's a subscription or financial support. Thank you in advance. So let's start with Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, and I give them 10 out of 10, and of course I highly recommend using them in a combo attack. The first thing that surprised me was that for some reason their leader skill was not upgraded like everyone else. It's still 170%, which normally it's supposed to be 180%, but okay, they give just key +1, well, maybe it's enormous changing, well, okay. It's really nice to see a 50% stack on both attack and defense from their super attacks. I just hope they don't nerf it like they have in the past. It's also great that guard lasts for 7 turns, not like the last time where this was just 1 turn. Plus, having damage reduction, even if only for 1 turn, it's a nice bonus also. However, I do wish they had a higher base percentage, because without factoring in super attack staking, their 300% boost Phoenix is a bit underwhelming compared to other units. Well, just look at this, 200% here and almost 100% here. But okay, at least they stack. For Gogeta, if we ignore the staking from super attack, his total attack and defense boost reach 400%, which is solid, I think, but it's a shame that he loses his damage reduction, and the boost from Rainbow's Key Sphere isn't that great. They could have at least made it 15%. But they made it 10%, which is not great in my opinion. Well, it's since you can collect a maximum of 5 Rainbow Key Sphere, but realistically you can usually only get 2 or 3 per turn. That means that maximum boost will be around 30%, which is not too impressive. And he only changed orbs for 4 turns. But in the end, that's not a huge issue, because if you stack him properly, he will become an absolutely monster. I can say pretty much the same about the gods, as they don't differ too much from each other in their first form. But however, in their second form, I like them slightly less than Gogeta. Because I like Gogeta, who has damage reduction and super attack for Cs. The gods get a dodge boost from Rainbow Key Sphere. It seems like the devs couldn't think of anything more interesting for them, so they just give them as many Rainbow Key Sphere as possible to increase their dodge chance, like change Key Sphere into 2 Rainbow, randomly change Key Sphere of certain type into exclude 2 Rainbow Key Sphere, okay, because they need chance of evading. That being said, they also gain a boost when attacking or receiving an attack, but Gogeta simply has more opportunity to activate his effect, even if they also last only for 1 turn. Because of this, I'm giving them 9 out of 10 for now, and I will still recommend building them for combo attack. Sure, I could give them 10 out of 10, but I just don't trust dodge mechanics almost never invest in a dodge for units unless it's built into their passive skill. So let's start with a moment of silence to honor Akira Toriyama and thank him for his creation Dragon Ball, which has inspired many, including myself. It has been a year since Akira Toriyama left us. Previously I made a video that, to be honest, I didn't want to make. I didn't want to be a part of a ridiculous wave of hype that everyone create around his passing. But I still made the video because my Russian-speaking community didn't appreciate it. After all, how could I, as the only relative popular Russian-speaking Dragon Ball YouTuber, say nothing about its creator? To be clear, I even turned off monetization on that video because I found it distasteful to profit from the death of such a great person. But a year has passed and with it Dragon Ball Daima came and went. Over this year I have realized how much Toriyama accomplished before his passing. I started to feel like he knew this was coming. He literally did everything the community had been asking for over the years. He gave Gohan and Piccolo new form and made them stronger. He introduced Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta in Daima. He canonized Super Saiyan form, a form that, in my opinion, strongly resembles the God form Super Saiyan. Both have red and pink shades, which hints at SSJ4 approach godly power, but still not quite there. He developed several characters in ways we didn't have seen before. For example, Broly, Toriyama rewrote his character for the Dragon Ball Super movie, turning him from a mindless brute into a more sympathetic warrior with a tragic backstory. Or for example, Bardock, he expanded the Bardock backstory in Dragon Ball Super Hero and Granola arc, showing him as more than just ruthless Saiyan, but a father who genuinely cared for his son's future. Frieza, he brought Frieza back in Dragon Ball Super and gave him new depth from training for Golden Frieza to introducing Black Frieza, a form even stronger than Goku and Vegeta. He also introduced new forms like Ultra Ego for Vegeta, emphasizing their difference approaching to straight Goku calm Ultra Instinct versus Vegeta aggressive destructive power. So now about disappointment. I must say I am disappointed in Dragon Ball community for not properly honor his passing. Of course you are free to correct me if I'm wrong, but apart from Xenoverse 2 players gathering and using their raise hands emote for Genki-Dama tribute, I didn't see anything significant. This was the most disappointing part for me because it made me feel like many people didn't truly appreciate his work or love his character as much as fans of other series do. Take for example the death of Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. People literally gather in subway station to pay tribute to a fictional character. Meanwhile, when a legendary author passed away, the Dragon Ball community did almost nothing. The same thing happened when Stan Lee passed away in 2018. After his death, no major tribute was made in his honor, which was upsetting. Even big companies barely acknowledged his contribution, despite the fact that he had cameos in every Marvel movie. But it's too late to change anything now. That should have been done a year ago. So instead, let me tell you why I love Dragon Ball, and I want you to write in the comments what you love most about it. What I love most about Dragon Ball is its beginning. In most stories, the protagonist faced immediate hardship. For example, Tanjiro family is killed in Dragon Ball Slayer. Deku wants to be a hero in My Hero Academia. Eren loses a loved one in Attack on Titan. This kind of step up immediately signal a 5 acts of story structure, which I personally don't find appealing. But Dragon Ball was different. It simply began with an adventure. Goku didn't have a tragic past or major burden. He was just a kid exploring the world and seeking a strong opponent. There was no death or dramatic incident to hook the audience, and that's what I love about it. Today I feel like Dragon Ball is valued more for its transformation than for its character and their action. It's similar to how people love Berserk for its gore or brutality, or thinking the whole manga is just about suffering, when in reality it's much more than that. Personally, I love Dragon Ball for its fights. It doesn't spend countless episodes explaining techniques, key or drawn out training arcs. Instead, it's all about dynamic battles. These two elements are enough for me to love this series, even though I discovered it relatively late. But I hope I haven't offended anyone. This is just my subjective opinion. Art is something we all appreciate in our own way. I'm looking forward to reading your comments, so see you all next time.